This is the Reds Down Under podcast, the best place to follow the Reds in Australia. Enjoy the show.
We are the Reds Down Under, and this is our podcast.
What's the difference between a hippo and a zippo? One's heavy and the other one's a little lighter.
I don't even get that.
For any smokers out there, this is Reds Down Under, and we are joined this week by podcaster and artist Abi Rudkin. I'm Tom. No, I'm not. I'm Jack. Yeah. And we do a podcast out in Australia about all things Liverpool.
We do, Jack. Great intro.
Thanks, mate.
This is Reds Down Under, as I say. Abi, how are you doing, mate, all the way from Liverpool?
I'm good, thanks. I'm excited to be on, even though obviously the time difference is very funny and messed us up today. But I've had a nice time over the weekend seeing Liverpool actually win a game of football.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. Me and Jack pretended to be sick last week, so we didn't have to do a podcast after the defeat.
I took Monday and Tuesday off. Don't say that.
No, we were sick. Wayne did a little podcast last week, which was great, actually.
Yeah, Wayne was brilliant.
But we're back this week. Tom, Jack and Abi, we are going to be looking at the Aston Villa win. We're going to be looking ahead to the massive week for Liverpool. Real Madrid first in the Champions League, and then Manchester City, which is always an absolutely massive game. Now, because of when the podcast comes out, we're actually going to do a little separate bit for Real Madrid, and we'll put it on social media for everyone so you can watch that rather than it being in the podcast, because you've probably already watched the game by the time you watch this.
And we'll be wrong.
Yeah, and our predictions will be wrong. And then we're going to get to know Abi in this episode as well. We've got some questions that people sent in. We've got some questions as well about the artwork she does, the podcasting that she does. And we're also going to be doing Reds trivia. And Abi said that she's absolutely amazing at Reds trivia. So
I am absolutely not. I am the worst person you can get on trivia. So if I get 0 out of 5, it's not my fault.
Look, it is what it is. I think be confident in it, right? Don't put yourself down. Because in that feature, we like to call take it to the max. I think when you go in and you don't think you'll get any, you do well.
I just don't think that's good. I literally, at BBC Radio Merseyside, like to do ones, and literally the Evertonian beats me every single week, and it's just embarrassing at this point. So we'll see how we get on in this one, but I've got absolutely no chance. My memory's like a goldfish.
Well, we'll see how we go. What are you saying?
It's good for them to have something to celebrate after 30 years, though, isn't
it? Yeah, they don't have much to celebrate, but they've got that new stadium there, haven't they? Next to the water, absolutely full of rats. Right, let's before we move on, let's thank Redboat Ventures, production partner. They, borrowed us kit. They're great, absolute legends. Thank you so much for that. Now let's talk about Liverpool versus Aston Villa, because we'd had 6 defeats in 7 games. We beat Frankfurt away in the Champions League 5-1, which was an outlier really of a performance. It's been a tough period for Liverpool. Villa are always a really tough opponent, I think, and to be honest, they've been a bit of a bogey team last couple of years. Abi, mate, you must be absolutely buzzing after that win. Did you go to the game?
Yeah, I did. I was in the ground. I took my mum this time, to be fair, and she doesn't half get aggressive. But we were in Lower Kenny, row 5, so we were right near the pitch and all that, and I was where, like, Ekatike celebrated. Obviously, it was offside in the end, and, so it was a bit... It was boss, to be fair. It was nice to just feel all those positive vibes around me and everyone just actually feeling happy. You could feel the anxiety once Ekatike was offside, like just people just feeling a little bit sick of, this is going to happen again. And then obviously they hit the post and all that sort of stuff goes on. And I think the ground was buzzing once we finally scored, but there was just this horrible anxiety that's been there for absolute weeks. It was the same against Man United, where everyone just feels dread that, it's going to happen again, isn't it? We're going to get beat. But then once we started winning, once we're 2-0 up, it was absolutely buzzing the ground. I haven't heard it that loud since we won the league, which is such a lovely thing to finally have, and I'm hoping we can carry that same energy into Madrid. But it was boss, to be honest. I've really missed it because everyone's just felt so down in the dumps all around each other around the ground. And It's just a sense of relief, to be honest, walking out the ground at full time.
It's funny you say that on the Ekatike one, because for us, and we watched it in Cheers Bar in Sydney, which was quite hard to stomach 3 pints at 6:30 in the morning. But some of us are winners in life. But when the Ekatike one went in, so there's like Villa fans in there as well watching it, and I jumped up and celebrated. And then when it got disallowed, they're banging the table. And I was like, I hope in the ground, just seeing a moment of magic, even though it was offside, and I felt like a big sigh of relief because we didn't concede first. I thought that'd be massive in the ground.
Yeah.
That'll build up the feeling,
it definitely was. It definitely was. It was, but it was also this thing of, this isn't going to go our way, is it? We're going to have moments like this, and obviously that's not what ended up happening. And it was great, to be fair, and to finally see Mo start to pick back up, and Gravenberg's so important to the team, and for him to get a goal and everything. Me benching him on my fantasy footy in case he didn't end up actually playing was a massive mistake. So it's sort of made up in the ground, but also thinking that's 11 points and I'm bottom of the FPL sort of thing. But yeah, I'm just relieved, to be honest, more than, I was excited that we won a game of football, but it was just this, it felt like we were all carrying this weight. You probably felt the same, like there's just this weight of expectation, and there's people singing like you're getting sacked in the morning at Slot and all that when I went to Palace, that it was just polar opposite completely, and we shut the Villa fans up really quick. I wasn't too far from them, and the vibes were immaculate.
Before I could move on about Aston Villa here, I took Salah. I kept Salah in my team every week because I was like, Salah comes good every year. And I did a wild card this week and took him out, and he scored back to back now, and he got like 20 points or something. The great thing about doing a podcast, and I'm sure you see this as well, you get to talk to a lot of Reds all the time, which is obviously amazing, which is, what we love to do. But there's also the dark side of social media, and especially on Twitter, I have to say, but I've come across a lot of negativity within the fan base. What's it like in the city? I mean, I know people are being a bit down in the dumps, but like, how far was the sort of vibe with it? Were people really contemplating Slot out, or do you think it was just the keyboard warriors?
There literally is two sides to the fan base, and I say the online fans, like, loosely are fans, the way they behave sometimes. Like, listen, like you guys, you support Liverpool from Australia, but there's this side of the fan base that have never been in the game, just don't get it. They're 12 and they're sitting in their mum's box room and they just care about winning, and there's like this glory hunting side where it's just like, if Liverpool lose a couple of games of football, it's like, sack the manager, get rid of Mo Salah, like, this isn't good enough, Van Dijk's fell off, all this sort of stuff, where it's just like there's this online social media group of fans that don't get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's this thing about Liverpool where you've just got to back the manager no matter what. Like, that's just the way we are. We're not a Chelsea where it's like, let's just swap out managers all the time. When it's not working, you drop them. That's not the way we do things. You've always got to be a unit. Listen, like, obviously we've all wanted certain managers sacked in the past, but...
Yeah, Roy Hodgson. Stevie G when he hit that penalty.
Exactly. And I can't say I was a massive fan of Brendan Rodgers either, but it's just one of those things where it's like, you've got to get it. Like, you've got to back him. You can't... Listen, I was fuming at Slot for that side against Palace. I was fuming. And I vocalised it that I'd paid 40 quid for me ticket to go to a Carabao Cup game. Some of the best times I've had as a Liverpool fan has been going down to Wembley for that final, especially Jurgen's final one. That was just absolutely special. And Jurgen himself said that was his best final. That, in my mind, I was thinking, he's bottled this. He's threw this game away. I'm fuming at him. But in no circumstance was I like, sack Slot, get him out. But there was this online fan base, and I'm sure you see it as well, that just, it's fickle. Like, it's just like, let's just bin them off and start again. Spend more money. And it's like FSG out, and it's all this sort of stuff where it's like, you're not getting it compared to the fans in the ground, or, level-headed fans even. You can be an online fan and still have a level head. I'm not saying they're all like that, but there's just this section of the fan base that just don't understand it. You go around the city, I'll sit in pubs before the match, or even just being in the concourse, or the people sat next to me at the game. I had a massive conversation with the fella next to me about how it's a complete disgrace, people wanting on a slot out and not just completely backing them in, like, that's just the Liverpool way. Do you know what I mean? Like, we ended last season winning the Premier League. The first time we've actually been able to celebrate it all together in, like, 35 years or something absolutely ridiculous like that. The last time we'd won it before that was in COVID. I can't wrap my head around people who then are just like, right, okay, he's lost 6 and 7, bin him off, not worth it. I don't know if it's just this thing on social media where it's just like, get him out, get a new one in, spend more money, get rid of him. I don't know what your thoughts are, but it's the polar opposite in the ground. It's people going, we've got to back him here, or these players are mourning. Virgil's come out in interviews and said they're not coping with what's happened to Jota, and Salah's crying on the pitch after Bournemouth, and then you've got people online just absolutely slating them all and saying, sack them all. It's not the right mentality. Do you know what I mean? It feels wrong.
Yeah, look, I agree with everything you've said. Unfortunately, I think Twitter is the one for that. It's full of horrible, horrible bastards. And it's all rage tweet. That's all it is. Yeah. And it's these football accounts that have like bought their accounts off other things. And they've somehow got 1.9 million followers. And then they just tweet this absolute shite non-stop. Like Tom's just little plug for our Twitter, our RDU podcast. Yes. On Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. But I've been on Twitter since like 2009, so I've seen all the changes on Twitter. I think it's got a bit worse with Musk coming in. I just think that's the way it is. You see more bad things on there than you're ever used to. But when Tom made that account, I said to Tom, just do me a favour, get in, get out. Post, do your replies, whatever, get in, get out. Because if you sit on there for too long, some of the vile things you see. I have seen some bad ones about Jota even.
Yeah, no, I've seen some of them.
And you're like, where's this coming from? So yeah, it's a vacuum Twitter, and I think you've just got to treat it that way. Instagram and Facebook, quite friendly. My mum, lovely on Facebook. Should see her on Twitter.
Yeah, she definitely follows Musk on Twitter. No, she doesn't really. I'm only joking. Look, let's get back to the football, because look, I agree with both of you. Like, you're making absolutely sound points. It's absolute the Wild West on Twitter or X, but we are on there, so give us a follow.
Give us a follow.
Yeah, give us a follow. Abi, you were talking about Virgil van Dijk there, mate. You know, people saying he fell off a cliff and all that sort of stuff. And to be honest, I mean, there was levels of fairness in that. I don't think Virgil has been at his best this season. I don't think he's been as bad as what other people say. But he was unbelievable against Aston Villa. It was a proper Virgil van Dijk performance. I think the fact he had Andy Robertson on his left helped that. I think the consistency at the back's really important, and I think we're in a position, we've talked about it a few times, where the gaffer's got four full-backs, and maybe Joe Gomez if you want to throw Joey in there as well. And he's not quite set on which ones he's going to go for. Frimpong's been unlucky with injuries. Kerkez is struggling for confidence. But I think both Konate and Van Dijk are going to struggle if that's the position. But Van Dijk was absolutely amazing against Villa, mate. Ollie Watkins is a really, really good centre-forward. And he never had a sniff against Konate and Virgil van Dijk. And to be honest, he tried to peel onto Konate a lot. And Konate just completely mastered it. Gravenberch coming back in was fantastic. McAllister was better.
McAllister, for the first time this season, looked like himself again, didn't he?
Yeah, he just looked like his old aggressive, like high-quality self.
Even after he got chokeslammed.
Yeah.
The chokeslam was outrageous. Like, I was gutted. I was embarrassed in the pub that he went down like that. But what are you going to do? It's the Premier League.
He did get choked, though. He did grab his by the neck.
Abby, get out of here, will you? Don't offend
He's been on Twitter too long, yeah?
No, I know. Literally, I seen it happen in the ground. I was like, he's just grabbed him by the neck. And when he went down, I was like, fair enough, because otherwise they don't look at stuff like that. I think we're in a world of VAR now, and if you want to try and get someone sent off, you're going to have to go down. You know, if you want to try and get the foul, all that sort of stuff, I think you've just got to play up to it. So I didn't blame McAllister for throwing himself to the floor. I mean, I'm anything just for Liverpool to win a game of football, though, to be fair. So if he has to throw himself on the floor, I don't care.
Abi Rudkin, soft. That's what I'm going to say, mate. Get that all over Twitter. But Jack, the Reds were much better. Look, it weren't fireworks. It wasn't fireworks, but it was more controlled. Szoboszlai played in the 10, and let's be honest, he was absolutely fantastic. Szoboszlai, his range of passing was there. He probably should have scored. To be honest, he'll be disappointed he didn't score.
He had a couple of chances, didn't he?
With his left foot, he really should have beat Martinez. Ekitike got the disallowed goal, but he put in a real shift. You can see the shift.
His link-up play is really, really good. Like, I was thinking he was going to be a striker in behind the lines, but his link-up play is really, really good.
Yeah,
did you,
100%.
What did you think of Szoboszlai in midfield over Wirtz?
Do you know what? I thought he was absolutely unbelievable. But Szoboszlai has been the player this season that stayed consistent for me. He's the only one during these games where we've been losing, when he's played, where I've thought, you're fine. Like, you've carried on. When he's had Curtis Jones next to him, I've thought they've sort of linked up well together. I was gutted to see Curtis was injured for this one, because he's actually had some fight in his belly. And I know we've been talking about people on social media and stuff like that, and Curtis gets extra hate. So the fact that he's performed so well and then ended up getting a bit of an injury and not being able to play with Szoboszlai, I was worried. And then when I saw it was going to be McAllister, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai, it's funny because last season you see that midfield and you think, oh, feel dead safe with that. That's the best midfield in the league. But because McAllister's had such a drop-off and Gravenberch was coming back from an injury, I just thought Szoboszlai was going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting, but he didn't. McAllister looked back to his best. He looked like he had his aggression back. You know, Gravenberch is just... He's in my personal opinion, he's probably the best midfielder in the league. He's unbelievable as a 6, and what Slot's been able to do with him, I just didn't think it was going to work out for him at Liverpool under Jürgen, and it's developed into this gorgeous midfield. And to have a player like Wirtz, over 100 million worth, to not be on the pitch. The funny thing was, someone came up to me at the match, a German fella, and he said, I've flown all the way here, and he's not played Wirtz, and I've only come to see Wirtz. And I was like, well, to be honest, lad, you shouldn't really be flying here just to watch Wirtz play football. But obviously,
I was really, really hoping you were going to do the accent then.
I felt the accent coming, you know, did you?
I'm not also over here. I thought you were going to do it. I thought you were going to do it.
No, imagine. But like you were saying, I thought the midfield did really well, but all season long, well, from the losses this season, I've been blaming Konate, just to go back to your point about Van Dijk, I've been blaming Konate for Van Dijk's bad form, because this is the first time I've seen Van Dijk have to break a sweat, because he's covering for Konate's mistake all the time. He's always trying to retrieve the ball when he's made a mistake. And like you've just said, Kerkez, when he's had Kerkez at left back, it's just... I can't deal with Kerkez at the minute, and I was so glad to see Robertson be playing the game, because we've just missed that. We've missed his creativity. I thought when we signed Kerkez, we were going to have him and Frimpong on the other side, like bombing down the wings, and we were sort of going to like remake that old sort of Trent Robbo sort of thing with the pace and stuff like that and the crosses. But Kerkez, I don't know if he's being told not to do that, or he's just lost all ability as a football, which sounds terrible, guys, but I've had enough of Kerkez just throwing himself on the floor, and Bradley on the other side's been quite naive. But we get to see Robertson there, we get to see Bradley play a really good game. He looked proper professional there, Bradley, and he was throwing himself in for tackles and stuff like that. Robertson was brilliant, by the way, and it just felt like a proper game of football, and it felt like I was watching Liverpool again. And it was just nice to see Konate finally get a grip of himself as well. It felt like we were a proper cohesive team on that pitch, where I've been saying just a disjointed mess for weeks and weeks, and we didn't look like that at all. We looked like the Liverpool of old, and I think that's what you miss when you haven't got Ryan Gravenberch there as well. So I think he was really important to be back. And Mo Salah's just... I knew he'd come back. I knew he'd click back in eventually, and the media like to spin this narrative against Mo of, right, this is the time he's going to fall off now. Oh, fourth for the Ballon d'Or, his head's fell off, that's it. You know, all that sort of stuff, and they're just desperate to put him down and say this is the end of his Liverpool career now. And for him to have he had a great game, I thought. He really stepped up back to his own, and it's just exciting to see. I'm relieved considering we're going into a week of Madrid and Man City. You had to get a win before that.
Mate, absolutely. Look, before we move on, Mo Salah, 250 goals for Liverpool.
Amazing.
Oh, unbelievable. And like,
Unbelievable.
we're sort of similar ages. I think you two are a bit younger than me, but we're similar ages, and we sort of had Torres did great, Suarez did great, but then he left. And then then you get Mo Salah is your big man, and he has just been, yes, Suarez, but Suarez, we only had him for a couple of seasons, maybe one season at his absolute best, and then he went to Barcelona and became one of the best players in the world for sure. But Mo Salah came to Liverpool. He's been at Liverpool through his best years. I still think he's got plenty of years to come. 250 goals is absolutely unbelievable. A great performance by Liverpool. The only disappointing thing for me, and it is really upsetting from that game, was McAllister throwing himself on the floor.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Right, before we move on, Abi, Liverpool are currently 7 points behind Arsenal. Liverpool sit third, City second, and Arsenal in first. 7 points behind, mate. Is it still doable?
I mean, we've lost as many games as we did last season, and we ended up losing those last couple of games just because we decided we're going... Slot decided to go to Ibiza. The rest of them went to Dubai, I think. So, in my mind, no. But the tide changes so quick. Listen, the start of the season, when we were getting all those late winners, people were like, this is the earliest the title race has ever been finished. Liverpool have won it. Like, they've spent all this money. And then we go on a bad run, and now Arsenal just look... Arsenal are the most solid team in the league. Defensively, they're unbelievable, and they'll always manage to get that goal to win the game. So Arsenal just look like the most uniform, professional team in the league to me at the minute, and I can't see a world where this isn't theirs. But saying that, if we have a good run from now until Christmas, I wouldn't put it past this Liverpool side to go on a mad run and win like 20 games in a row or something absolutely stupid. So I still have faith. There's still something in me that just says, you never know, Arsenal could go on a bad run like this. I'm writing City off because what I've seen from City, it's still not the City of old. And I know as a Liverpool fan, and we've had horrible times against Man City where they've just pipped us to it so many times that it's just made you feel sick that you do still have this thing in the back of your mind going, City. But to me, I think it's Arsenal's, but I don't think we should lose faith yet because it only takes them to lose a couple of games or draw a few, and I've got this feeling that it's not over yet. But my priority at the start of the season was always the Champions League. Having the thrill of winning the Champions League was what I wanted this season. Like, we've done the league now. Be boss if we could still win the league, but I want that thrill of a Champions League final again. I want Slot to get that. I want to be able to do that. And plus, another thing is, something Jota said in a lot of interviews before he died was he wanted to win the Champions League. So I think if we go and win the Champions League this season, that's just, I think that was what I wanted. But it's not over. The league's not over. It's just, we need to get a grip.
We need to get a grip like that fella did on McAllister's throat, am I
that
right?
rat.
Yeah,
That rat, mate.
absolute scumbag, whoever that fella was.
See you on Twitter.
Yeah. Right. We're going to have a very, very quick break, and when we come back, we'll be asking Abi some questions about her career and who she is, and then we'll move on to Manchester City in the Premier League. This is a Reds Down Under announcement for all supporters. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on TikTok, Facebook and Instagram, give us a review on Spotify, Apple and Amazon. Thank you. So we're back. Before we start the questions on Abi, just a quick update on the Fantasy Football League, which isn't going famously for me. But Corey Judd sits top on 661 points, and Liverpool FC on 659. Like a Virgil, Matt Purchase, 636, and then Connor Chameleon, 621. They're sort of running away with it.
How's Big Rig getting on? Like Damo.
He's off the bottom,
Is he, yeah?
unless he's deleted his account.
No, he's
There he is, second bottom, 340.
That's right, Big Rig, lads.
So Abby, we were talking about it earlier. Obviously, you're an artist and a podcaster. Let's start with the art first, because I think when I started following you, it was because of your art. So this is years ago, I think. So, like, I mean, anyone who follows Abby will know it, but she does these amazing paintings of like fanscapes and plays and things like that. How did you get into that? Like, how long have you been doing it for?
So I did like art GCSE and art A level, and I always loved it. I always just loved drawing people. And then I was going to go and do business at uni, and in the end I just decided, because I spoke to two teachers in Maricourt in me art class, and they were saying, like, do something that you're passionate about, like you'd make a good art teacher. And I was like, oh, do you know what, I actually like the idea of staying in the routine of school, you know, when you just dread that idea of leaving school and what's work and life going to look like. So I sort of liked the idea of going back to a school environment. So I applied to do fine art at Liverpool Hope at the creative campus in town, and basically I started doing the fine art degree, and a year in, COVID happened and COVID broke out, and I was just sick of doing life drawing over Zoom and trying to do paintings in my bedroom, like at home, trying to just paint all sorts of stuff I had to do for uni, you know, like doing, it was basically like you could do life drawing over Zoom and stuff, and it was just quite like not my sort of thing. And I was talking to my dad, and I said, like, I'm getting a little bit fed up of like doing a fine art degree from the house over Zoom classes and stuff. And my dad was like, well, why don't you try and paint something different? Like, why don't you do a painting a Jürgen for me for the house? And because me and my dad were going, well, obviously COVID had happened, so we weren't going the game, but we'd usually be going to all the games and stuff like that. I was like, do you know what? Yeah, I do feel like just painting, because painting was still my passion, do you know what I mean? But it felt like I was in a repetitive like cycle, trapped in this little room. I was basically lending my dad's office where he'd normally work from home, but like everyone was getting furloughed and stuff, weren't they? So I basically took over his office, stuck an easel in there, and just decided I was going to paint Jürgen Klopp for him. And I posted a photo of the painting I did of Jürgen on Twitter, and it got like, I remember at the time I had like 100 followers, and it got like 72 likes or something ridiculous. But at the time I was like, oh my god, like 72 people have liked this painting of Jürgen that I've done. Like, this is quite weird. And I'm obviously, during COVID, you're like trapped in the house and you're not really knowing what to do. So I just sort of made a habit of starting to paint some of the players. Like, I painted Van Dijk kissing the European Cup, and then I did like a Carragher Gerrard sort of thing, and yeah, it just picked up from there, posting it all on Twitter, and then people started messaging me saying like, can I buy this? And I was like, sorry dad, you're not having your Klopp painting, I'm selling it for 70 quid, because this is a whole shift in the Liverpool shop. Because back then I was from 16 to 20, I was working match days at the club shop on the new one next to the main stand. I was working in there. So I just, in the end, just started picking up odd commissions, you know, painting someone in a wedding dress and anniversary presents and stuff like that. And it turned into a job because of Twitter. And I know I was saying in the first part, Twitter's terrible, everyone's so horrible on there, but like Twitter/X is basically the reason why I ended up an artist, and why like I still use it and still engage with the same lovely people that wanted work off me then and stuff like that. So yeah, it all came from COVID, and obviously COVID was a terrible time for loads of people, but and it still was horrible, but something good came out of it in the end. I ended up taking a different career path, and maybe I will go and be an art teacher one day, but for now I'm going to keep doing these paintings while it lasts, while people still want them.
Can I just say, Liverpool are missing a trick, aren't they, by not getting you in to do an art class? You know, like the way they do the Nivea for Men adverts.
Do you know what? I used to, well, I still do a little bit when they ask me. The LFC Foundation do
Yeah.
like talks with young people, you know, like young people empowerment for people from schools and stuff. And like sometimes I'll stand up in front of the kids and say like, explain the whole story of how I ended up an artist and say like, you can take a different career path. And like, I think once on one occasion I did like little art activities with them about mental health and stuff. We weren't painting players, but we were painting like what makes you happy and how you feel and stuff like that. So I got to do that with the LFC Foundation, which was really good. And that's how the whole video of me and Jürgen came about. Was I stood at the front of a class and said like, I wish I could show Jürgen my art, but he's leaving now. And one of the girls from the LFC Foundation, Holly, was like, I can try and sort that for you. And I was like, really? And then I got an email saying like, be at the AXA at this time. And yeah. So that's how that all came about. So I have done little bits and bobs, but yeah.
That must have been, like, you know, have you seen the video of where, like, Jamie Webster gets surprised by Klopp when they're in America? Right?
Yeah.
So the surprise aspect, oh my God, unbelievable, right? That's Jürgen Klopp. But to get an email and go on your phone and be like, right, yeah, so on Tuesday, I'm meeting Klopp.
I was like,
you must have been filled with such nerves and anxiety about that.
Well, I was on holiday in Turkey, I think, when I got the email, and I was sat by the pool, and I was like, how unbelievable is that? But basically, I'd spoke to the club before, so I'd spoke to like the head of like the creative stuff, and I'd said like I want to do a painting for Jürgen, and they were like, oh yeah, that'd be boss. We want to give Jürgen a gift anyway of a painting. But basically, it worked out that they said like I couldn't be there to give him this painting. They were going to give him it, and then they'd like post content for me and stuff like that. So I was like, oh boss, you know, at the time that sounds amazing. But then I stood up at the LFC Foundation thing and said like, well, my real dream would be to meet him. So basically I'd done that painting in the video, but Jürgen sort of wanted him doing the fist bumps towards the ground or something. Like we'd figured out what he'd really want, and he said to me like, oh, I want one of me doing the fist bump. So in the end, in Jürgen's, I've still got the original from the video, and Jürgen's got one twice the size doing fist bumps towards the crowd with like similar flags of what he wanted, because he spoke to me at the time and said like, I want one of this, and I was like, oh my God, like Jürgen's telling me like what painting he wants. But some people at the time thought I give him the one in the video, but I don't. I say he's not meant to know that I'm doing one for him, but I say like, oh, you'll see me again sort of thing. And he ends up getting one 2 times bigger, and the club give him it when he was back in Liverpool. I'm sure they give him it in a pub in Formby. But yeah, it then that went on social media and stuff like that. So it was just insane. He's boss. Because I thought when I got there, like, Jürgen would be like, oh yeah, like that's nice to meet you, like let's get a photo or whatever. But like he come over and was like, oh, like I'm close to tears, like could I get one of like me doing the fist bump? And I was thinking like, you can have this one if you want it, but he was like, I want like, and started explaining this like concept to me. And then he come back over to me a bit later and was like, I was talking to Van Dijk at the time, which is just insane. Van Dijk was like, how long do these take you? Like, where? Van Dijk said, where's mine? And I was like, I'll do you one if you stay a bit longer. And he just laughed, but that was before he'd signed his contract. And Klopp come back over to me and was like, let's get a video. And I went, what do you mean? He went, let's get a video, you and me, I'll make you famous. And like laughed and thought it was dead funny. And I was like, oh, yeah, if you want to get a video. And he was like, yeah, get a video. And Jürgen's like grabbing my phone out of my hand and like press play and hands it to Pete. And I was like, oh, this is insane. And he just starts speaking on the camera and saying like, this is Abigail. And I was like, oh. I remember getting back in the car and being like, this is the most insane thing ever. And I just sent me dad and my boyfriend the video, and like my phone started ringing because they were all like, what the hell? Because I don't think I'd mentioned to me dad like properly what was going to happen. I'd said like, I'm going the AXA with my artwork, but I don't know if Jürgen's actually going to be there. I don't really know what's going to happen. So when I sent that video, it was like, it was the best day ever, to be honest. And it made it sadder when he left though, because when he was like walking off the pitch, I was like near tears. But it was insane.
I love the idea of Jürgen getting the tactics board out, the man management skills to tell Abi exactly what he wanted, like a half-time team talk. Right, so we got some questions from some people.
Throw it to the listeners, eh?
On Twitter. Oh, and I wanted to say as well, because Max, who helps us with this podcast. He wants to ask about that Klopp story, so I'm glad we got that one in.
What did he smell like?
Like a nice aftershave, but I can't remember what it was. It was
Lynx
just a
Africa,
nice
I think he
Lynx
wears.
Africa,
Yeah,
yeah.
he gets it every Christmas off his ma.
Oh, wait.
Right, so some questions from Twitter. Sir Turn-a-lot.
I don't think that's how you say it. It's
Turn-a-lot, yeah.
Tylenol.
No, it's not
No.
Tylenol.
To be
Isn't
fair,
that a type of tablet?
it's the way he's done this. He's very professional, Tom. But the font is about that big.
Oh, no.
I've printed them out on A3 pieces of paper, right?
And put it above, yeah.
And put it above us so we can see the show notes, but then I've put it in small font.
Oh,
It's
no.
it's outrageous. So Sir Turn-a-lot as asking the first player you drew. So we've got Jürgen. Who did you draw after that?
I think it was Van Dijk. I think I painted Van Dijk kissing the European Cup, which I actually have in front of me. Hang on, I'll show you. I kept it 'cause my dad wouldn't let me let it go. I mean, I'd like to think I've got a lot better since then, but my dad wouldn't let me get rid of it. Yeah, so it was Van Dijk, I think, if I remember rightly. Like, obviously, when I was younger, like in sixth form and stuff, I'd do little sketches and that, but they're long gone now. But yeah, I'd say it was Van Dijk. I think it was that one.
Beautiful. And Cam said, what players are you wanting to draw next?
Have you done Soboslai yet with his beautiful long hair and his hairband?
He's a beautiful man.
I've done the midfield of Gravenberch, Szoboszlai and McAllister, but they're like walking away, so you can't see their faces. But I think Gravenberch or maybe Szoboszlai, like a proper like full face, full fill the canvas one would be. I think that'd be good. I also want to paint Vert, but like I'm waiting for him to find a little bit more form first. I did have a rule that was like, I'm not painting anybody until they win a trophy. So then I stuck to that for ages, and then I just decided that a couple of, like, last month, I'm going to paint Ekitike and Isak, and then we lost 6 and 7, and loads of people were saying, like, this is your fault, like, you broke
Yeah,
this, you
leave
broke the
Vert
streak.
alone for a while, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like-
Kirkes just has to win the League Cup.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's not happening either now, so.
Well, not this season, is it?
No,
yeah,
not this
this
season.
season, that's not happening, but.
Ah,
yeah,
never mind. You can't win them all. That'd just be greedy, wouldn't it?
I think I'd do Gravenberch, a proper big one of Gravenberch, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe
doing that
one
pose.
where he did that.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
we enjoyed that in the pub, didn't we?
Yeah, that was good. Recreating it in Cheers Bar.
Yeah. Cheers, Vanessa, by the way.
Yeah, thanks Vanessa in Cheers Bar looking after us. So then how did you get into podcasting and TV work? How did that transition happen for you?
So obviously, like, Twitter's a running theme of this, but I just kept being really gobby and argumentative on Twitter with loads of people about football. So I was posting the paintings and then tweeting like whatever about whatever had gone on in one of the games. And I ended up like, there was this channel called Klopp Zone, which still exists now, but they're not really doing that many podcasts. They were trying to like start something up and were like, would you like to come on Klopp Zone and talk about the football because we've seen your tweets? And I was like, yeah. So I came on to Klopp Zone, talked and did a couple of weeks, and then I got speaking to the Anfield Rap and they were like, oh, you've started doing podcasts and that. I think it was Harriet said like, do you want to start coming on shows? So I was like, yeah, that'd be great. Started going on the Anfield Rap, and then Paul Machin seen me on the Anfield Rap and was like, do you want to start coming on Red Men? So then it started becoming a bit of a thing where I'd go on the Rap and Red Men. And it sort of just like catches fire then, where it was then like Radio Merseyside being like, do you want to come on? And then they passed me a number on to 5 Live, who were then ringing me saying, do you want to come on at 6 in the morning? And I'd be like, oh, 6 in the morning, but let's just do it just because, you know, you're getting into the habit of doing the podcast and stuff now. So then I'd do 5 Live sometimes at 6 in the morning. And it just picked up from there. And like, obviously I'm involved with Finalysis now, which is like an app where you're just speaking with Liverpool fans and you can rate all the players and stuff like that. And they're in collaboration with Sky. So that's how I've ended up doing a bit of Sky News of a morning on the fan club, is through the Finalysis. So it literally just went from one thing to one thing, you know, to just getting asked on to the next thing. But it was all just me being dead gobby on Twitter and argumentative and being passionate on there after games. But it's nice to be able to come on podcasts like this now and be, you know, talk about the game and stuff with people rather than just me sat in my room or sat in the car driving home from the match just having a rant.
It's quite funny, isn't it? We were sagging off Twitter before, but Twitter's kind of made you, wasn't it?
I know, that's literally it. That's why I'm like, oh, it's so terrible. But then I'm like, it's actually great in other ways. And there's so many lovely people that I've met through Twitter who like...
We were bagging it, but there is some good ones. I'm on there.
Well,
It's a
we're
bit
on
of both.
there.
At RDU podcast.
We're on there. I don't understand it at all, Abby, to be honest with you.
I tagged him in a post and he said to me, "Did you see that post? Someone tagged me in." And I was like, "It was me."
Yeah.
He's still learning.
I'm still learning.
Yeah,
I was never on it before.
No.
I think I've got like
I'm
an
new to
old
it.
account or something, but like seriously,
You have,
no, because when I
remember
went
what
to
it is.
set up, Reds Down Under,
Yeah.
and I was like, right, I need to follow people and stuff, and then I followed Abby,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh, I'm on my old account. Abby's gonna be like, what's going on here? What a creep.
Yeah, that's just what
But-
it's like, isn't it? I've still
Yeah.
got old accounts in my full name that I can't get the username off. That's why mine's like Rudkin_Abigail, because 10-year-old me made a Twitter account called Abigail Rudkin, and the header is like the Twilight logo, and the bio says like, I love Twilight and I love Friends, the TV show, and it's just like me, age 10, in the circle of the icon, and I still can't get the get the password.
I was tweeting Mr. Daly saying in the bath thinking of you.
Yeah.
And Ian, if you're watching, 3 of your former students, how are you doing, mate?
Right, well, Abby, look, thanks for walking us through that, mate. I think that's really interesting for people to hear, because I think as a fan community, actually, I think for Liverpool fans, probably more than a lot of other fans, there's a lot of opportunity for fans to create content, whether it be artwork or podcasts or creating, you know, that guy's doing really well. There's like replica trophies and stuff like that. So there's opportunities for Liverpool fans out there, because there's an absolutely massive audience, isn't there? Right, let's talk about the football. Let's get back to it. Liverpool play Manchester City in the Premier League. We play Real Madrid first. But as I said at the start, we're going to do a little social video for that. So keep your eye on our socials, including Twitter, because the video will be on there as well. Manchester City have been sort of our, like, what's the word? Like, well, just rivals, really. I know.
Batman, Superman, innit?
Yeah, very good, yeah. You know, Manchester United will always be our big rivals, but since Jurgen Klopp certainly came into Liverpool, Pep Guardiola, that rivalry's really intensified. We go into the game sitting third and second in the league, mate. How big of a game is it for us, Abby, if we are going to try and claw back the Premier League?
It's massive. It's absolutely massive. If we can get a win there, then it's sort of a statement to say we are still in this. We haven't completely fell off the face of the earth. We can still win this Premier League. But just because it's at the Etihad, I just hate going there. Like last time I went there was when Trent scored that equaliser and shushed their fans, but I was sat in the home end, like at the hospitality bit, and some man celebrated like a row in front of me, another Liverpool fan, and the man sat next to me. Good job I didn't react. Jumped up and punched that fella in the face, but it was the Liverpool fan that got kicked out. So it's one of those places that I don't like going to. I just don't. They are rivals to us now, and they have been, and they've managed to pip us to the league that many times, by 1 point, where it just makes you feel sick, the thought of playing them. I think no matter who's playing for them, what form they're on, you've always got this feeling with Man City that, they can beat us and we will feel absolutely shit about it because they've managed to do us over that many times. But a win against Man City in the last 5-10 years has just felt amazing. So I think if we can, depending on what happens against Real Madrid, if we can sort of carry on from that Villa game, if you can beat City, I think it'll send a message to the rest of the league that we're not going anywhere. We are still here, but it just depends. It depends if the players turn up like they did against Villa, because if Konate and Van Dijk decide to have games like they've had from the 6 and 7, then you're coming up against Haaland. You've got absolutely. Possibly no. I mean, it's saying no chance sounds a bit sly, but when you're coming up against Haaland, he's just a machine. So we've got to be on form, but probably the best game from last season for me was the game away at City, and you know, Szoboszlai had an unbelievable game there. So if we can sort of take something from that and carry it into this game, then nothing's impossible.
Yeah. For anyone at home watching, Tom and I self-produce by tapping each other's legs. But about who's going to ask the next question. And that's a little behind the scenes at Reds Down Under. But what happened was we were tapping each other's legs, and then at one point we tapped each other's hands. And Abby, I don't know what that means, okay? That could mean anything, but I am going to ask on this. So as you were talking about Konate and Van Dijk's form in the 6 and 7, those bad games, do you think that matchup, the Van Dijk Haaland or Haaland Konate, do you think that's going to be a game decider?
Yeah, 100%. That's all I've been thinking about is, you've got to silence Haaland, because at the end of the day, I know they've got like Doku and players like that, but he can't produce it. He doesn't finish in the end for me. Doku, he's not special. I mean, I haven't checked their injuries for a while, so I'm not 100% sure he's still fit for them. But I think that's the matchup. If you can have a Van Dijk and Konate on form from last season, you'll be able to silence Haaland, and I think that's a massive thing. I also think there's obviously the whole Mamardashvili being in our net, and they've got Donnarumma. There's something with Mamardashvili where I don't feel that safe without Alisson. Do you know what I mean? There's something about him where we keep passing to his wrong foot. We keep forgetting he's left-footed. We're so used to Alisson being behind Van Dijk and Konate. There seems to be this hesitancy from Konate and Van Dijk to pass back to him. So there's little worries, little concerns like that. I'd still be starting Robertson for this one. But then it's the whole thing of, well, it would have been a whole week. It depends what happens against Real Madrid if we end up starting Kerkez there to see if Robertson's fit for that. So there's all those things. It does depend who starts for me. I don't want to feel unsteady defensively. I'll feel sick if we have a bad game from Konate, because it'll all just fall apart from there, because he just panics. It's a bit like what it's felt like for me with Konate over the that 6 and 7, which I keep saying. It's felt a bit like Joe Gomez after that Napoli game years ago in the Champions League, where it all fell apart. He makes one mistake, and then that's it. Then for the rest of the game, he just lets it all fall apart. For Konate, it just seems like he makes one mistake in a game and his bottle goes, and that's it. Then he's panicking, and then Van Dijk's trying to cover for him, and we just look like we're flapping it. So just to try and keep that sort of composure there, City are going to want to have more possession. So you've just got to try and deal with Haaland, and it's just sickening to imagine having to come up against him, isn't it? It's just, he's unbelievable. He is a machine.
Yeah, I mean, since he moved to Man City, I kicked his hair out so he can have a man bun.
Hold on. Torres.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know how many times I have to say this. It was Torres.
Okay.
So, I'm Voronin.
Yeah, Voronin, yeah. What a guy.
What a ponytail.
Erling Haaland has scored 13 goals so far in the Premier League, and I think the next closest player is Thiago at Brentford. Yeah. Unbelievable numbers so far. I think I read today that if he continues on the same goal scoring form, he would score 49, which is amazing. But no one ever hits that form all season. He did it the other year, and then he fell off. I think it was last season actually. But when I looked at the other goal scorers for Man City this year, guys, Doku's got 3. I think Reinders has got 1. Sherky's got 1. So they're getting a couple of goals, but there's not a lot of goals in that team outside that number 9. And I think he's a spot on. I think if Konate and Van Dijk have good games and keep Haaland quiet, and also I think the two players in front, probably McAllister and Gravenberch, have to have really good games, because they have players like, as we said, Reinders, Doku like to cut in. Phil Foden played in the midfield 3 the other day for City. They have players in that hole who can make a big difference. But I think if Liverpool can keep Haaland quiet, I'm not concerned about the rest of the team. Like, I'm really not. Like, City this season, I haven't got the stat, but City this season, I can see in chances. So I think we've got every chance. I think we've been through poor form, but there's only a point in it between the two teams, and people are talking about City being right in the title race. So I'm not worried about them. Abi, hopefully Isak might be back for Real Madrid. We don't know that yet.
But out for City.
But yeah, out for the next 4. If he's fit, mate, against Manchester City, is he a no-brainer, or would you still go with Ekitike?
Do you know what? Against Frankfurt, I wasn't like that averse to the whole 4-4-2 thing. Like, I quite liked Isak and Ekitike together. To be honest, I quite liked the way they linked up a bit. I know the assist, would have been assist that Ekitike passes to Isak. He ends up missing it in the end. But there was moments where they shone together, where I thought maybe we could just play them together and make this work. But for a game against City, I'd rather be a little bit more compact, be a little bit less open, where I think you do have to pick one or the other. For me, it's Ekitike. Ekitike is the player on form. We haven't seen that much from Isak. That's telling me he needs to be starting games. Listen, he had no pre-season, but he should be over that by now. Picking up injuries doesn't help, and we should have known this really, because he has had an injury record in the past that we were all aware of when we signed him. But for me, it's Ekitike. Ekitike looks like the sharp force for me at the minute. I think it's got to be Gakpo, Ekitike and Salah for me. And just knowing that you've got Alexander Isak sat there on the bench if you need a goal, that's never a bad thing, to have what I thought was the world's best striker sat there. I think it's got to be Ekitike. That's when I've started to get a little bit frustrated with Arne, is some of his decision making hasn't been based off who's in form. Listen, there's been times this season where I've just thought, give Chiesa a chance, start him. He's looked better than Gakpo at times. He's looked better than Mo a lot of the time. And it's like, listen, he's played a lot of his career on the right wing. I know he wants to be on the left wing, but I don't think he's that good when he's through the middle. There's all these things with Chiesa where I've thought, just give him a chance. We were losing games of football, and he hasn't. So it's one of those things when I'm like, please just start the players that are in form, and that's Ekitike. That's Ekitike for me. That's why I keep captaining him on my fantasy. But then he, obviously, that goal's offside the other day. But yeah, it's one of those things. If we can get a Mo that's on form in that game, I think that's really important as well. So I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I think he'll go Isak in the Champions League. I can just see him playing Isak against Real Madrid and being like, these are the moments we bought you for.
Yeah.
I feel that, to be honest. I think he'll go Ekitike against City, but that Donnarumma is an absolute mountain of a man, isn't he, in goal? And he's made some really good stops already this season. But I do have the feeling like Salah loves playing against City. So I think if Mo can get in, I think Mo could show him up in this game. Really show him up.
It's a good game for Mo to be able to... I mean, I know, obviously, he has a good game against Villa, but it's a good game for him to finally show, listen, I'm still here, I'm still able to score in the big games. But I thought that about the Man United game, that it was going to go that way, and it never. So I don't know with Mo, and I'm sort of hanging all my hopes on the Villa game, thinking, like, come on, like, he can. And to be fair, he's started to pick up goals, but it's just one of those things where I've just got this feeling that it's like he might go invisible in this one, which I'm hoping doesn't happen. You need them all to be on form, and for Mo to be able to bag a few goals in that game to boost his confidence as well, because you can't be feeling confident. But I'm not blaming this whole, he finished 4th in the Ballon d'Or and he's gutted about that, and he's like thrown a fit and all that, and he doesn't like slot. All these stories in the media, I'm just not believing. I think a big game like this against City is one where he can show what he's made of and that he's still here. And he's got two years that he's signed for a reason for Liverpool, because he still wants to be winning big games like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I said it on an earlier podcast. I said, if it comes to the end of the season, Liverpool are going for big trophies. Mo Salah's the man who you want on the pitch. And I haven't changed my opinion on that at all. I think that's the case. I think the team selection will be interesting to see what happens against Real Madrid. I think if Isak's fit, I would expect him to start against Manchester City. I would expect him to go Szoboszlai in the hole. and then what a position to be in, guys, to have Chiesa, Wirtz, and Ekitike on the bench to maybe change the game if we need to. But I think it'll be that energetic midfield. Szoboszlai definitely plays. And then if we need to at the end of the game, we've got a lot of firepower on the bench. Quickly, Abby, prediction, mate, for that game. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, God. Do you know what? I've been predicting losses recently. To be fair, I predicted 2-2 for the Villa game, which makes me sound terrible. But I'll say 3-2 to Liverpool. I'll say 3-2. Haaland can get 2 for them, but I think maybe we'll get a late winner. I was going to say we're due another late winner, but we're not really. We've used them all up at the start of the season, haven't we? But
an early goal would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. First minute.
Yeah. How about you, Jack?
I'll take a 2-1 Liverpool. The thing that scares me is like what we were talking about before with Kanate and Kirkes is that like that game could be a 4-0 City.
Yeah.
But I'm optimistic. I know all the Arsenal fans will be like, "Come on, man, we need a draw, man." But I think 2-1 Liverpool. What about yourself, big fella?
Big fella. Oh, I love you, man. What a brother. Look, I'm going to say 2-1 Liverpool. I'm going to say Liverpool will score 2 goals and City will build a lot of pressure on Liverpool for a large period of the game. I'd expect City to score. I think City get one back, but I think Liverpool hold on. But we will see. We will see. Right, should we do a bit of trivia?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'll
Take
be
it to
terrible
max.
at this.
Come on,
I'll be
Abby.
terrible.
Right, well, let's go. It's Red Trivia, or as Jack likes to call it.
Take it to the max.
We've got 5 Liverpool questions. I'm going to ask the questions. Abby and Jack are going to write their answers. And then we'll do the answers separate. All right?
Easy.
I'm really good at this presenting, aren't I?
I'm
Are you
gonna be
ready,
so bad.
Rudkin?
Yeah.
Are you ready,
Yeah.
Hughes? Let's see who can get more right. Question number 1. Which club did Liverpool sign Luis Suarez from? Which club did Liverpool sign Luis Suarez from?
Right.
The guy was nuts.
Great.
He was nuts, man.
Great, man.
But he was great. He really was great. I've never genuinely seen a player in a red shirt that when he picked the ball up on the halfway line, everyone stood up. It was amazing.
That West
Someone
Brom
is
game.
genuine. I love how
It's
we're
just-
doing the quiz now. I'm like, guys, someone is actually ringing my doorbell. It's fine. I'll ignore it. Someone is ringing the ring doorbell, though.
Maybe
fine.
George Sefton.
I know it might be. I know, but someone is
That's a
ringing.
joke. We don't have to tell anyone why we know. All right.
All right. Question number 2. Sadio Mane scored on his Liverpool debut in a 4-3 win against who? Sadio Mane scored on his
Guys,
Liverpool debut.
Do you remember where we
I'm
were?
so bad at this.
Oh, you remember it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm
Jack's-
so bad at this. Oh,
Jack's
He's
got
still
that. Do you need to go and get the doorbell?
a little bit, but it's all right.
Well, go on then. It might be a present for us.
It's Jürgen.
Are you sure?
I'm going to make you famous. No, that was really bad.
Okay,
Go on,
am I
go on,
alright
get
to
the
get the
door.
doorbell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't be
One
good.
second.
If you come back, like, yeah, what a great game that was. I remember it.
So that was question number 2. Question number 3. Who was Liverpool's club captain before Sami Hyypiä? So he was a co-captain with Robbie Fowler. So we had 2 captains. Who was the co-captain with Robbie Fowler before Sami Hyypiä? Big Sammy.
I'm bad at this.
I was
I'm
there
so
for his
bad at
final
this.
game against Spurs at Anfield. Amazing. Great player. No pace. It's like our kid.
Read it out again. Before who?
Who was Liverpool's club captain before Sami Hyypiä? He was
Okay.
co-captain with Robbie Fowler.
Okay, found.
Number 4, Milan Baros represented what national team? Milan Baros represented what national team?
Oh, I've got it.
I'd
had
say
a
I don't know
fantastic-
this.
He had a fantastic tournament. I think Liverpool signed him off the back of that.
I
Milan
don't know
Baros.
this.
See,
I'll just
I
have to guess.
I get confused on this because of the film Love Actually.
Is that
Yeah.
meant to be a clue?
No, because Colin Firth
Yeah.
goes out with that bird who's like the cleaner of his
Yeah.
house,
Yeah.
summer house.
Yeah.
But she looks like Milan Boras.
Yeah, but she's Portuguese.
She's Portuguese.
Yeah.
So it's not Portugal.
Yeah. By the way, I love Love Actually.
Yeah.
My Mrs. Chelsea loves that film,
Yeah,
so
what a
we
film.
watch it so many
What
times.
a film.
Question number 5. Before the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand, it was called the Centenary stand. What was it called before that? This one for the couple of the older listeners. Before the year 2000. Before the Kenny...
Yeah, the year she was born, by the way.
yeah.
It's her middle name. That's what we're going to find out.
Before the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand, it was called the Centenary stand. What was it called before that?
Nakatomi Plaza.
Okay.
It wasn't Nakatomi Plaza. All right, let's do the answers. We'll do Abby's answer first, and then Jack's, and then
Guys,
Jack,
I'm
and then Abby.
I'm
Don't
terrible
worry.
at this. If you want me to go first, I will, but I'm terrible at this. Okay.
All right.
First
all right.
one. First one's Ajax.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
question number 1 was what club did Ajax sign for? What?
Ajax sign.
He's supporter, wasn't he? Not an ad.
The strong. Which club did Liverpool sign Luis Suarez from? It was, of course, Ajax or Ajax,
Okay.
if you're fancy. Question number 2. Sadio Mane scored on his Liverpool debut in a 4-3 win against who, Jack?
Arsenal, man.
It was Arsenal.
Was it Arsenal? See, I put
the Emirates.
Southampton, but
Tom
I
and
think
I-
that's just because we signed them from there.
Tom and I were in a pub in Euston, in London, weren't we? And
Euston?
yeah, because Tom was working in London and I went to visit him. And my train, we had the wrong time for my train. So we ended up just sitting in the pub for like 4 hours and we lost the Liverpool Arsenal game. And when Mane scored, I just fucking jumped up. I was like that, weren't I? And the bouncer was like, you need to calm it down. I was like, it's all right, Adam, get the train in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was still in London.
Yeah.
It was that famous goal. Mane cuts down the right-hand side,
Shit, man, cutting in off the
Right,
right.
okay.
cuts in off the right,
Once
and
it was
he.
left foot.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm telling the
I
story.
don't know how
mate.
I've forgot that. I don't know how
Yeah,
I've forgot
unbelievable.
that.
Question number 3 then. Who was Liverpool's club captain before Sammy Hippier? He was co-captain with Robbie Fowler, Abby.
I've left it blank, guys, because I don't know.
Go on,
Well,
throw a
I
name
haven't-
in.
Oh, I don't know. Like Redknapp or something like that. I don't know.
It was
know.
Jamie
I
Redknapp.
forgot.
Jamie Redknapp. It is Jamie Redknapp.
It was Jamie Redknapp.
Yeah. I knew we shouldn't
Oh,
have mentioned that
I'm
H&M
taking-
outfit.
Oh,
I'm taking the points, guys. I'm
take
taking the points.
it. Jack, did you got that, didn't you?
That was
Uh,
in my head. I thought Redknapp, and then I thought, but I can't remember him being like co-captain with that. But anyway, I'll take it. I'm out from the points, guys.
Yeah.
That's because he was always injured.
He was, yeah. But he was injured. I think the 2001, the FA Cup final win against Arsenal, he was injured, but he came down, he wore a suit and he lifted the trophy with Robbie, I think is what happened. Question number 4, Jack. Milan Boris represents which national team?
Serbia.
Abby?
I wrote Croatia.
You said unlucky. It was Czech Republic.
Oh, okay.
So you said in the right area. But I can't give you the points. Sorry, kids. Question number 5. Before the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand, it was called the Centenary stand. What was it called before that, Abby?
Kemlin.
Jack?
Is that right?
It was the Kemlin Road stand. Well done.
Yeah. Okay, three. I got 3 out of
3?
5's not bad. Yeah, 3 out of 5. Got 2 and 4 wrong.
Oh, yeah. 3 out of 5's good. And the Milan Boris one I thought was tricky. Jack,
That
what did
is
you get?
tricky.
4 out of 5.
Oh, 4 out of 5.
Not wrong, is it? It's not
I
bad.
told you beat me. I'm terrible at this. I am terrible. I don't know how I forgot the Arsenal one, number 2. I don't know how I forgot that.
To be fair, the Jamie Redknapp one was a bloody hell of a guess, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
I
good.
know.
It was a
Do you
good.
know
it
what? I
was
sort of did think to write it, and then I thought, I just don't know if that's the right timing, so I'm taking it.
It made me laugh though. You were like, oh, I don't know, Jamie Redknapp. And I was like,
I was trying to like,
You know-
I'm like, I don't know.
You know what it is? A Mars in the door going, Jamie Redknapp. Well done to Abby getting 3 out of 5 and Jack getting 4 out of 5. Send me a DM on any of our socials and let me know what you got out of 5. That was great. That was Reds trivia.
They're better than I thought.
Take it to the max.
Take it to the max. After the Man City game, it's an international break, which is just a nightmare. But we will be continuing. We've got plenty of content coming up. We've got 2 more special guests coming up, which we can't announce yet. Well, we can, but we're going to leave it for a little bit. So do keep your eye out on that. As we said earlier, we are on all the social platforms. Well, we're on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. People tell me to get on Reddit. I don't know that either. I'm going to get my head around Twitter first.
That's wild.
I don't even use Reddit.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, love. I'd avoid it.
Okay. All I've
Yeah,
heard from it is
it's-
that it's like people working out murder mysteries and everything. That's all I've heard about Reddit.
Not my algorithm. I'd avoid it.
I do
Okay,
love a
fair
murder
enough.
mystery, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Abby, thank you so much for coming on Reds Down Under, mate. Was it bearable?
Yeah, it was. The only thing that stressed me out was the quiz at the end, but I'm actually better than I thought I was, which is good. Just about. Still lost, but I'll take it.
Well, thanks for coming on, mate. You were great. Jacko, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful.
I can't get rid of you, can I?
Thanks for being my brother.
I love you. Reds all over the world, in Australia and beyond. Thanks so much for watching Reds Down Under and following our journey so far. We will, as I say, be continuing with more and even more content. Liverpool won last week. Hopefully by the time we speak to you, we will have stuffed Real Madrid and we will have stuffed Manchester City. But if not, we'll still be here anyway. Up the Reds!
Up the Reds.
That's...
We are the Reds Down Under, and this is our podcast.